Hey, what's happening?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing amazing. So I'm happy
Awesome.
to talk to you. You're doing amazing things out here.
Hey, good to talk to you as well. Let me get this thing situated so that we
Okay.
good. All right. Well, I got you.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So I would love to know all about your journey, an amazing journey that you have, success coach, entrepreneur. It's so amazing. Tell me all about it.
But, you know, look, hey, here's the thing. I grew up in Casey, South Carolina, which, I call Pocomo, South Carolina. And so I grew up and sort of real typical in my neighborhood. There was not a whole lot of moms and dads. There was just a bunch of moms, just trying to figure things out and teach us. My mom taught me how to play basketball. So, but I grew up in an environment that I didn't like a whole lot. I didn't like it. I saw that I wasn't going to be able to get to where I wanted to get to. And I don't know where I had this vision for my life from, right? I don't know where it came from. But I wanted to be, the first thing that I wanted to be when I was growing up is I wanted to be happy. I said, I want to be happy. And somehow I tied happiness to success, right? And to having power, owning companies, owning homes and owning cars and being able to travel. So I tied it to that. And so I had to have a vision for myself that says, you know what, I can't get what I want from here. I got to find it somewhere
Right.
else. I got to find it somewhere else. It wasn't going to be in Pocomo, South Carolina for me, because there was a whole lot of, oppression, racism, a whole lot of limited thinking, all of that stuff. So I had to get out of Pocomo, South Carolina and try to figure out how to build this life. So that's where it started for me at. And then after that, I played basketball, and I thought I was decent. History might, tell a different story at this point, but I thought I was decent. I thought it would at least get me through college, and I had no sort of idea. I had no thoughts that I wasn't misconceived thinking, I'm going to go to the pros or anything like that. But I thought it'd pay for my education, or at least most of it. And then I had an accident, had a really bad accident where it was a car accident, which is, apropos, I guess, because I love cars, so much, and I'm so passionate about them. But I had this really bad car accident where I had amnesia. I had to be taught my class schedule over again, my birthday, all types of things. But needless to say, it impacted my ability to play basketball because I had a brain injury and I had all types of balance issues and things like that. So, I couldn't play basketball as well as I did, and I lost my starting position and all that stuff. I went and signed up for the military, 17 years old, and signed up to go into the military. And I went in the military and went overseas and went to Belgium, which I always wanted to do because I, wanted to learn French and all that sort of stuff. So I went over there and saw a whole different world. But I was starting to see people live differently than Pocomo, South Carolina. So that was a good move for me.
Wow. Okay, so I want to just say really quickly, I think it's super amazing how you made a way out of no way, and you don't let things stop you. You're very motivational, and it's like you're very goal oriented, which I think is like super amazing. So I wanted to just mention that. What do you think is the most challenging yet rewarding part of doing what you do?
Doing what I do now, I had someone just recently, I have developed this relationship with someone, and they're killing it. They're an amazing individual. They're killing it. They sent me this thing. We sat. He came to my place. We sat down and talked about some stuff. And he said, "Bro, I'm doing well." And he's a really young guy, right? He's doing really well. He's making $200,000+ a month. And he talked to me about his business, and we quickly discovered he could do a lot better. And he literally sent me a text a couple days ago and said, "Hey, bro, for the last couple months, I've surpassed $600,000 a month, and I'm on my way to $1 million a month. I'm not going to stop until I make that." And so that's rewarding. And it's funny, right? Even as I'm telling you this, I'm busy, so I hit him up and I said, "Love it, bro. keep pushing. That's awesome. But he probably does not know how excited that makes me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just so excited. I'm getting mine. I'm going to get mine. My future's so bright. I need to wear sunglasses. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm good. But to help other people come up and be as good or to get or to strive to be as good or even better and all that sort of stuff is awesome for me when I see people making progress like that.
Mm-hmm. That is so amazing. So I want to ask you as well. Now you're like this amazing financial expert as well. Why do you think it's so important for our Black community to, be informed and to develop generational wealth?
Well, so I thank you for saying that I'm this financial expert. I'm more of an entrepreneurial expert. I'm the guy that knows how to make money. I'm the guy that knows how to start something from the foundation. I'm the guy that knows how to teach people how to start their stuff. Being a financial expert, you hire those guys to help you do, whatever you need to do because, finance can be pretty complex, right? And so you are these experts, and a lot of times they're not risk takers, so they're not the entrepreneurs that I am or that you are, right? But in terms of why I think it's a great equalizer, So for us, it's our duty, it's our responsibility. We have to level up. We have to get to the next level. For those of us that are able, physically able, that have, people tell you that you have so much potential in your life. If that's you, you have a responsibility to make it better for the next generation. You have a responsibility to go out and do everything that you can to get yours, right? Because in doing that, you're going to create a level of freedom. You're going to create a level of power. You're going to create a level of influence that you wouldn't otherwise have, right? There's a whole lot of brothers that are locked up or that have muted their voices in other ways, right? Because they're not being able to create the wealth and being able to create the influence that's going to help their families going forward. This past weekend, I went out. I like going on car rallies and car stuff. And I went out and met this really cool dude. And he's a really smart guy. And where I made most of my money at was been in the Washington, D.C. area. But I'm out here in L.A. I'm out here in Cali. In DC, when we meet people, one of the things we want to know is, what do you do, right? We ask right up front. Almost the first conversation, we want to know what you do because it's our way of connecting with people from a business standpoint. We want to know what you do, how can I connect with you so that maybe we can do some business together. And across the U.S., we have different little cultures, right? You don't do that in LA. You don't actually do that in New York City either, right? They're like, what? You need to know who I am first. So I've got to learn to, change depending on where I'm at, right? And so in LA, we don't do that. You just meet with someone, you vibe, and then, later you may figure out what they do and it's all good. But this cat, cool guy, he's doing all this stuff. He has as many cars as I have, but more, and doing all this stuff. But the dude can't be more than 26 years old. I'm thinking, what the hell does this dude do? So later I found out that he owned a water company. And as I found out about him owning this water company, I was like impressed because first of all, it's hard to differentiate water from somebody else's water and to start making money on that. But to do that, damn, I need to take notes because I want to know, right? So as I talked further with this guy and got to know him and we were becoming quick friends, I asked him, he said something and it kind of didn't vibe with what I was expecting. He was very detailed oriented. So I asked him, I said, are you the CEO? I said, so how long have you been the CEO of this company? Right? And it turns out that the company was started by his grandfather.
Wow.
So his grandfather started a company, and maybe the company name has changed, but he's been in the water business, right? And then his dad built the business. They bought other business, did some other cool stuff. So it turns out that he's building wealth and is experiencing wealth, and hence influence, and hence freedom, and hence, you know, the ability to make his next generation even more powerful, right? Because of the generational wealth that's been created by his family. And so as Black people, it's our responsibility, it's our duty, it's our mandate to do this, right? Because it becomes a great equalizer in society.
Yes. Now, why do you think that, so many people, not so many, but why do you think some people are scared to start their own business or to become entrepreneur or to take that leap of faith and follow their dreams? Why do you think they're just scared, and what advice can you give to them to overcome it?
Yeah, it's okay. You know, I think being scared is sort of a normal thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there's a risk, and the risk is you might fail. The risk is you might not make as much money as you're making now. The risk is there's all types of risk.
Yes.
But the risk of not doing it is you're going to work for somebody all your life, right? And that's the risk. The risk is you're never going to achieve your potential. The risk is you're not going to have the level of freedom that you want to have. So the risk is much greater not jumping, but people don't know that. And reality is that, you know, real life is here too, right? Wait a minute, I got this bill, I got this family, I got these things that I got to take care of. And I know what that is. You know, I've filed bankruptcy before. You know, I've had all that happened. You know, I don't think it's ever good to have bad credit. It's a bad thing. But I had to leverage everything I had to be able to start my business and make sure I never missed a payroll. You know, so and I did those things. So the way you overcome it is that you get more confidence around what your ideas are. You get more confidence around what resources you're going to have to help you. And you're never going to be completely, fully confident. But once you get a vision in your head, once you get something in your head, a vision of how this thing is going to work, then you become, and you believe it, full-heartedly believe it, then you become unstoppable.
Absolutely. I like that. And I also want to ask you as well, what do you enjoy most about mentoring people? And how can someone reach out to you in order for you to become their mentor?
Well, people can, you know what? I'm doing something. I think we have it scheduled for Thursday, the 8th of October, that a lot of
Okay.
people reach out and want me to mentor them. And I have something called the Success Club, but it's not open. I'm not accepting members in it. And a part of the reason is that I've really been in an R&D stage for a long time, because anything that I want to put out there to the world, I want to make sure that I can meet my promise, that people can have a transformation. Whatever the transformation I'm promising them that they can have, that we can do that. So me and my team, we've been working super, super hard to make sure we get to a point where when people come in and they work with me, they have a very clear message of what I can do for them and what transformation they can expect if they do the work, if they put in the effort. You know, some people are looking for a magic bullet. Some people are looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. That's not what I do. But what I do is I teach people that want to start their businesses how to start their business, how to scale their business, right? And because I've done it in a lot of different areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening on the 8th, right now we have it scheduled on the 8th of October, where I'm going to do a challenge for folks that for me, like for me to sit down with someone for an hour or for a half a day or something, it would be super expensive, right? You know, I made a lot of money. I make a lot of money now. So charging someone about an hour for a day or half a day isn't really all that interesting to me, because no matter how much I charge, it's not really going to make me that excited, you know, where I want to, you know, have that kind of schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the folks that I do mentor are people that I can partner with in their business, right? And help them build their business for some sort of a split profit or ownership kind of thing. So those are the kind of businesses that I like to work with on a one-to-one basis.
Okay.
But what I'm doing on the 8th is I'm doing something that anybody that wants to work with me will be able to afford it, right? They'll be able to work with me and I'll be able to help them get started. So that's coming up on the age. So, hey, watch out for
Gotta
it.
watch out.
So
No, yeah.
I'll put that on my Instagram page. I'll send it to people that's downloaded my anything from me, and I'll send it out to them so that they'll have that stuff. But primarily Instagram, Facebook, social. I'll do it. I'll put some information out on my YouTube as well.
Okay, awesome. Now I also want to ask you as well, who are some of your inspirations or mentors that you've looked up to, whether it's growing up or even current time?
It's a good question. I think it's funny. My mom,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because my mom did what it took to make shit happen for me, right? To make it happen for us. I didn't like it always. I didn't even understand it at the time, but she did what it took to make us okay, right? And she was, my mom, like I said, she taught me to play basketball. I saw her. She worked in restaurants and would be the manager of like Bojangles, and that kind of thing. And so her work ethic and she knew what good was, right? So she'd be like, I would compete. She would always go, I'd come home, whether I was playing baseball, basketball, football. She would say, "Did you win, son?" And I'd be like, and she was like, "Did you win?" So she was definitely the inspiration and motivation. But I think other people, and I'm glad you asked that question, because one person that I want to shout out, that I want to give a lot of love to, that I've never met, that I wish I could meet, that I want him to hear this message, is Les Brown. So Les Brown is a guy, a motivational speaker from, he's still doing his thing, but back in the day, I would hear him talk, and just like him, he had a speech impediment. He stuttered. I stuttered really, really bad as a kid. I rode the short bus as a kid going to school. So people picked at me and laughed at me and joked. And so I didn't think I was that smart. And so hearing Les Brown, somebody that was dark skinned like me, that, was a black man that was out trying to do his thing and struggle. He had a poem, "If you want a thing bad enough," right? And I printed that poem out and I read that poem over and over and over. It was talking about if you want something bad enough, that you not let anything get in your way from achieving that. And with the help of God, you'll surely get it. And so I read that over and over and over again. So I would like to say, Les Brown, thank you, my brother. I've never met you, but you've helped me so much. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you're still killing it. I hope you're still motivating people. So Les Brown would be one.
That is so awesome. Well, I hope that one day you get to connect with Les Brown.
I hope so. Hey,
It's
everybody,
gonna happen. It's gonna
everybody
happen.
listening, y'all go find Les Brown and Les Brown's page. Tell him I want to meet him. I want to honor him and celebrate him for all the people that he's helped.
It's definitely going to happen. And one thing I noticed is that you're very, very engaged with your audience. You have amazing content. Why do you think it's so important to interact with your audience? And not everybody does that. But I love how you are very, very, very interactive with your audience. So why do you think it's important?
Yeah, thanks for saying that. It's funny because I don't think, I feel like, I'll spend at least an hour a day trying to answer messages and stuff like that. I don't get to all of them. And, some people hit me up and say, "Bro, answer my damn message." And I try to answer as many as I can. But I mean, that's the reason we're here. Yeah. Like people see my lifestyle, my cars and all of that stuff. And that's the bait. I can't lie. That's the bait.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that people see. Because if I just came on and I started like dropping knowledge and sharing, how to, build a business, I would have a lot fewer followers, because, people need to see the result. Because sometimes, on Instagram and social media, people are not interested in the process. They're interested in the results, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I have to put the results first so that I can then get them tied into the process. right? And so that's why I interact with them, because I interact with anybody that reaches out to me, because it's an honor for people to say, look, bro, you're helping me out. Or look, bro, I have a question for you, because it means they have some level of confidence in me and that I have the ability to help them and influence their lives. And sometimes I will go on a rant with someone, you know, I'll hear them and I'll be like, bro, you're too smart for this. You're too powerful for this. You got too much potential. You need to be doing something else. So when I do that to anybody that's listening, it just means I love you, bro, and I'm just wanting the best for you.
Wow. Last but not least, before I let you go, I know you're so busy. I want to ask you, what do you like to do on your off days when you're not working, when you're not working on your companies, your businesses? Like, what do you like to do for fun? I know you're very, very into cars.
Yeah.
What do you like to do besides cars?
Well. First, I mean, besides cars, you know, that's a whole lifestyle. That's a whole
Yes.
vibe, right? I love, you know, so I love racing. You know, like, so I love racing. I'm trying to get faster at racing. I like learning about cars and building cars. And so I love that. But, you know, there's, you know, I've had a lot of different hobbies. Like, I've been a photographer and spent a lot of time doing that stuff. I love traveling the world. I speak, you know, a couple different languages. So I speak Spanish and
Wow.
English at this point. My first language that I learned was French. So one of the things I'm trying to do now a little bit is get my French back on par with you know, the other languages. So I don't know that, you know, I have time to learn anymore, but you know, I speak those, you know, at least 3 languages, right? So I love learning. You know, I love learning and I love people. So those are the things that I end up, you know, spending my time doing.
Awesome. I want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to me, to interview with me, and thank you all for watching. I think you're super amazing, and we're going to continue to support you. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an amazing day.
Appreciate you and continued success to you. And
Thank
we
you so
will
much.
see you soon, talk to you soon.
Yes.
Keep killing it. Keep
Thank
showing
you.
light.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.